President, I come to the floor today because we are discussing the cut and the cap and the Balance Act, which of course I support. And it gets back to a little poster that I've had at home with my kids over the years. And I have a copy of it here. It's called the 2 penny difference. The 2 penny difference is 2 cents. It says if you earn $1 and you spend 99 cents, you're okay. But spend $1 and you're heading for trouble. Yet today this says, and this has been many, many years ago, yet today spending seems more fashionable than saving. What once was called poor money management has now been called deficit spending. Whatever it's called, it leads to inevitable headaches for people, for companies, and even for governments. And frankly, Mr. President, that's the situation with which we find ourselves today. A major headache because as a nation, we have continued to spend money that we don't have. And as a result of that, we've been borrowing money, significant amounts of money, actually about $4 billion a day. A lot of it we're borrowing from overseas, much of it from China. And you say, how does one then become or maintain themselves as an independent and strong and forceful nation when one owes that sort of a debt to someone else? So what the American people have been telling me as I've traveled around my home state is that Americans believe, and the people of Wyoming clearly believe, that they want Washington to cut spending, not to increase taxes. Now the White House doesn't seem to hear that message. They're ignoring it, they're tuning it out. They've admitted they don't have a plan to cut Washington wasteful spending, and actually the president doesn't think he needs one. I want to quote the White House press secretary. He said, leadership, he said, is not proposing a plan. You know, it's saddening, but it's not surprising, given this White House's track record of changing its positions over and over. Say one thing, do another, and no one can really predict what they will do. Just last week, the president said he wouldn't support a short-term increase in the debt ceiling. He even warned the House Majority Leader. He said, don't call my bluff. We've all seen it on television. Now we know it was a bluff. The president is now saying he might welcome a short-term increase in the debt ceiling. Yesterday, the president announced that, or it was announced by the president's spokesman, that they would consider this short-term increase. So it's really hard to tell what they're thinking at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and a lot of the times it depends on which way the wind is blowing. Now, White House officials aren't the only ones who think it's better to not propose a plan. In fact, a story in Roll Call newspaper yesterday said that one of my colleagues, the senior senator from New York, warned the Democrats to not release a plan. The article even said that they told the budget chairman not to propose a budget because it would just give others around the country something to shoot at. We've been here over 800 days since there's been a budget passed through the Senate, and a senator tells the chairman of the Budget Committee, don't let them see the budget. According to this article, however, it said that although he thought it was more politically helpful to spend time, quote, attacking corporate jet owners and defending entitlements. Mr. President, our entitlements are going to be bankrupt in just over 10 years, and some folks don't want to produce a plan to save them or to strengthen them. That's what we're hearing on the floor of the Senate. People often try to figure out how really large is this debt that we have. Well, we spend more on interest on our debt, just interest on our debt each and every day, more than it would cost to buy several hundred corporate jets every day that the Democrat senator from New York, the senior senator, is railing against. That's just the interest alone on the debt. That's what kind of money we owe. This isn't the kind of leadership that America needs right now. Even though the White House and my friends on the other side of the aisle continue to send different signals each day, Republicans remain committed to cutting spending. In fact, we put forward the only plan that has passed either house of Congress. It's called Cut, Cap, and Balance. It'll cut spending. It will cut the spending that we have, that American people realize we cannot live kind of continuing to spend money that we don't have. It will cap future spending, and it will require Washington to balance its budget. The state of Wyoming balances its budget every year. Every other alternative in this Congress, on the Hill, all around town, every other alternative is either undefined or unfinished or only speculative. So, Mr. President, I am pleased that the Senate will soon have a chance to vote on cut and cap and balance. It's a plan that's good for our country, and it's common sense. When Washington is $14 trillion in debt, we must cut the spending. When Washington borrows $4 billion a day, we must cap future spending. And when Washington borrows $2 million every single minute, we must learn to balance our budget. Americans understand that our country can't continue down this same track. We can't continue to spend money we don't have. Cut and cap and balance is the best plan for America. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.